Tiny houses. Doom scrolling. So I asked Jen if she knew this word and she didn't. But I have heard this word and I have seen this word in a couple of news articles. Doom scrolling is when you take your phone and you go on TikTok or you go on YouTube Shorts and you sit like this. And you just watch one short video after another. And then all of a sudden you look up and realize that over an hour has gone by. So that would be referred to as doom scrolling. I said I've heard this word. To be more truthful, I've read this word. Like I've seen it in different news articles, how doom scrolling is becoming more and more of a problem where people sit on their phone and they just scroll endlessly, watch one TikTok after another or something else. Quiet quitting. So this is something that started after the pandemic. Quiet quitting refers to going to work and doing just enough work so that no one gets annoyed with you. Like you're not sitting around like this guy. This is probably a bad example. But if I was to quiet quit, I would show up at work at exactly the time I was supposed to start. And I would literally do just enough work so it looks like I'm working, but I wouldn't work hard and I wouldn't work fast and I wouldn't do any extra work. Like I wouldn't stay an extra 5 minutes to finish a few things. Yes, I don't agree with quiet quitting. I'm more of a do your job well so people appreciate you and so that you continue to have the job. That would be my vote. Beast mode. So this isn't one that I've actually heard a lot, but I have, when I played video games, people would use this term, but people are starting to use it in real life. A beast is like a really strong monster. And when we say someone's in beast mode, it means they are performing usually at something physical at a really high level. So for instance, Vlad Guerrero Jr. Hit 3 home runs in a game. We would say, oh, he was in beast mode last night. Like he was like just hitting them like he was a monster. If I had 3 hours of grading to do and I sat down and got it done in an hour and a half, I could say, oh yeah, I just went beast mode last night and got it all done. I don't use this term very often, but definitely one that you will hear now and then. Triggered. So when someone is triggered, it means something they read or something they saw on TV or something someone said to them made them instantly angry or upset. So this happens more and more in the world. When I showed a picture of Messi and said he was the greatest of all time, some of you might have been triggered because maybe there's a different football player that you think is better than Messi. And I shouldn't be saying he's the greatest of all time. That would mean you were triggered. You're like, what is Bob talking about? He doesn't know anything about football or soccer. So this probably was a word that's been around a long time, but I've heard it a lot more in the last 2 or 3 years. I've really started to hear it. Oh, that when you said that, it was triggering, or that triggered some of the students, or the YouTuber said this and his audience was triggered. They got really, really angry. They got really, really upset. So, and it comes from trigger, right? That's what it comes from. The idea that you're instantly angry. Side hustle. So a side hustle is when you do something besides your normal job in order to earn some money. So YouTube for me started as a side hustle. I was teaching full time, but I started to make English lessons on YouTube. So I had a job, but I was doing something extra on the side as a side hustle. So I use 2 phrases there, right? On the side as a side hustle. And then eventually more and more people watched my videos and I was able to go part-time. So now I'm kind of part-time teacher, part-time YouTuber. So I wouldn't call it, it kind of still is a side hustle, I guess. Jen started growing flowers as a side hustle. She was actually teaching and she was on maternity leave from time to time. So she started to grow flowers and sell them as a side hustle. So again, a side hustle is kind of like a small little business you run. Like let's say you work all day selling cars, and at night you clean the interior of people's cars to make extra money. We would call that a side hustle.